It's WPSD's Local 6 Legal Line. Attorneys from the Bryant Law Center in Paducah and Louisville are guests on this segment. More specifically, in the middle here, Austin Kennedy. To my far left, Teris Swanson, answering your questions at 1-888-208-6946. And we're going to dive right in. We have a question from Jennifer, who wants to know, can you explain how a contingency fee works?
Yes, and what that means is that for the attorney fee, we do not collect money. We don't receive payment for our work unless we recover money for you. That can be done via settlement. If the case were to settle, we get a percentage of whatever the gross settlement proceeds were. And if it's tried or goes to a hearing, same thing applies. Our expenses are also contingent. We don't get those reimbursed unless we recover money for you. So we advance costs for things like stamps, envelopes, copies, getting medical records. If you file a lawsuit, potentially doctor depositions, things like that. But again, we don't ever recover anything for our attorney's fees unless we recover money for you, same with expenses.
I have a question from Mary, who says, I was in a car accident, I live alone, and I have to start paying someone to do my household chores that I used to be able to do. Now, I would like to be able to get back to doing these things fairly soon, but meanwhile, can I have the guy who hit me pay for someone to do these chores?
That's a pretty common question, Dave. What's more common actually is we'll have spouses who one of them gets injured and they'll say, well, my spouse has had to start taking care of me. We couldn't afford a caregiver. Can that be reimbursed? And typically the answer is going to be no. You're going to have to check the specific policy that applies. There may be a rare circumstance where you can get compensated for that, but the typical answer is going to be no. But hopefully, if you get a good lawyer who can fight for you and get compensation you need otherwise, that can help offset those costs. When it comes to anything, make sure you're always keeping receipts and records and medical bills and all that sort of thing, because we would like to get you as much compensation as possible. But when you're talking about breaking things down into categories, that's not a category that you're typically going to get reimbursed for, unfortunately.
Got a little bit more than a minute left in our first segment today, and we have a question from Riley, who says, someone recently ran their car into my garage. They did not have insurance. What can I do to get those repairs paid for?
More than likely, you're going to have to look into your own homeowner's insurance policy. It's unlikely for you to be able to collect anything on your own auto policy, just because if there was no contact to the vehicle, the garage is not part of the vehicle. Even if you have comprehensive coverage as part of your auto insurance policy, probably unlikely that it'll cover the garage. However, I would look into the homeowner's insurance policy to see what that would cover. The other alternative, obviously, is to file suit. You could file suit in court, and you pursue that. And if you got a judgment against the person, you'd have to collect on it. So if they don't have insurance, it's likely they don't have assets or money. So you might just have a judgment worth something. But again, you got to collect on it at some point.
Part 1 of WPSD's Local 6 Legal Line, here and gone. We will have part 2 coming up very shortly. And again, taking your personal injury questions at 1-888-208-6946 as the attorneys from the Bryant Law Center return right after this break on Local 6 Midday.